Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and today we're coming to you guys with an exciting keyboard video from Neo. Now, Neo is coming out with two new boards. I only got to try one of them, and that's going to be the Neo98. So, right here in my hands is the Neo98. It's a 98% keyboard, right? But, getting close to the full size. I'm really excited to try this out because I'm loving Neo boards in general. They do really cool stuff. I really love the designs as well as the sound specifically. So it's going to be really fun to try this one out. They sent this out to me with the black color. So let's see what I can do with this, what kind of keycaps I'll use, and of course give you guys a bunch of different sound tests because this thing's supposed to have two different mounting styles and we're going to do both of them just to see what they're like. So please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's go right into the unboxing. So let's start off with the unboxing of the Neo98. Thank you again, Neo and Keys, for sending me this out because I just have been enjoying their boards. It's been really awesome to try things out, and it's really cool to be part of this review because I wanted to really see a full-size board, especially one that's custom, because I haven't really had a custom full-size yet. Now, as you can see here, you get a alu plate and a PP plate, so you get two different plates, and you're going to get some foam and the PCB. So this board will have some foam available, and you'll be able to choose like what kind of build you want to do with it. And you're going to get a braided cable, a really nice one, a keycap puller, switch puller, and a tool as well. So you don't actually need your own screwdriver to be able to do this, but it's, if you have one, it's probably going to be better than the one that they provide you. You also get these extra parts. So there's going to be screws because this board is with top mount. And you get the levelers, which is going to be something I'll show later. And you also get like the rubber feet because you don't want your board to be slipping around, of course. And you're going to also get some gasket mounts. So this is going to be the rubber gasket mounts for gasket mounting. And of course, some foam for the gasket pour-on foam as well. Now, I'll be going over that as well in my video with so many different sound tests. Like we're going to be doing a crazy amount of different sound tests with this because I really want to show you guys like what's possible with this board. So first, let's get it out. I really do appreciate that they give you a carrying case because I'm probably going to actually use this for work, and it's going to be nice to have something like this for work. The board itself, I already can tell that it looks so nice, and like just seeing the back weight on its own was really beautiful. I do kind of wish that there was a copper weight available. They said that there is no copper weight right now. So it'd be really nice to see like either copper or brass. I think one of the two would look really nice in this, but I think the copper would make this back look even nicer. And it gives you like this glass PVD as well. So something really cool to see as a full design and as a 98% keyboard. And some people might have been curious about the weight, and without anything, it's 1.8 kg. Which we will weigh later to see how much it weighs after you do a full build. So the PP plate, let's measure it out. You're going to get 1.6 millimeters non-flex cut, which is awesome. And then we have an alu plate, which has a little bit of cuts around, but it's still going to be a 1.6 millimeter alu plate. So overall, we're going to get some really decent plates here, especially when we're doing a foamless sound without the board being flexing and moving around too much. You do get some foam, and we're going to see how the foam is going to be later. And the PCB as well, non-flex cut at 1.6 millimeters, and it's going to be a magnetic prong connection. So overall, this is not going to be a quick release board, so you're going to have to actually use the screws, and they already have a force brake mod on the board itself. So because this is a top mount available as well as gasket mount, they actually already did a force brake mount for you, so you don't really have to worry about that. But there's something other stuff that I'll be going over later. Now, I did want to open up the board. We want to take a look at the inside. This is something I love to do just because I like seeing how they built this out. It's really interesting to see like how different companies do different builds. And the battery life on this one is probably not going to be so great. Just the battery size itself is going to be about 4,400 milliamps, which is going to be on the smaller side, especially for a board this size. And that's something that I was kind of surprised to see. Now, I already did loop the stabilizers, so I did all of that before this, and it's going to be the clip-in ones that they provide in. There is no 7U, which is unfortunate with this one. That's something that I was kind of very surprised to see because, usually Neo has 7Us available. And honestly, I think this board really could have benefited from a 7U, but no 7U. It's just a 6.25. I think it would be nice to have just both, right? Like there is enough space. It's a full-size board almost. 98%, you probably could be able to get a 7U and a 6.2
both on the PCB. Now, I'm also going to add the locks for the clip-in stabilizers, just for the stability purposes. I don't think you always need them, but sometimes it's good to just try to have them added in for the stabilizers to be a little bit more stable. Now, of course, we're going to be doing the rubber feet now. I'm just going to add those in because I don't want it to slip. Sometimes the rubber feet that the Neo provides isn't good enough in terms of having like the thudding on your desk if you don't have a lot of mats. So something you can always do is buy like those door ones, and then the door rubber ones, the dome ones, and then you can actually add those instead. And I heard that that's actually much useful. Sometimes I like to add it on top of the rubber dome just for a little bit more height on the board, because it's something that I personally prefer in terms of having a little bit more height to be comfortable. But let me give you guys what I'm going to be doing first. It's going to be doing the gasket mounting. So I'm going to be doing a gasket mount with this board first, do a foamless build completely. We're going to use the Keybay Cheese V2, and I'm going to be using the KKB Novelkey X Signet, Novelkeys X KKB's Signet. I think that's going to be a really cool set that I'm going to try out. I actually got it at the Black Friday sale, so it's going to save me some money. So we'll do a Cheese V2. I'll also give you guys the MX28 Black sound test, and of course I'm going to give you guys a sound test with a Unikey switch as well. So overall, I was hoping these keycap sets would work well with this one because it's a black keyboard. I got more of like a brown color set, and I want to make sure that it's going to be like a nice full colorway. I usually like a little bit more of the brighter side, but I think this came out really well. I actually do appreciate the overall look of it. It came out to be very clean, a lot cleaner than I originally anticipated, and overall I think it's more of like a sleek, minimal look than anything else. But now let's go into the foamless sound tests. So we did the alu plate. Now it's time to change out the plate to the PP plate and give you guys a foamless sound test of that as well. So let's go into that. So now this time we're going to add some foam, and we're going to add every single piece of foam. So we're going to do the bottom case foam, the PCB foams like the pour-on foam and the PET foam, and then we're going to put it all together to give you guys a sound test with both the alu and the PP plate together. The next thing we're going to do now is going to be moving towards the top mount. So we did the gasket mounts, which I actually love the gasket mount on this one. It sounded amazing foamless. I think it sounded better foamless than it does foamed. Though the foam was pretty decent, I don't feel like this board is meant to be foamed up in terms of like how the sound came out to be. So we're going to add in the top mounting. We're not going to add in the pour-on gasket, the pour-on gasket foam. That's something I'm going to go over a little bit later. We're going to first do just pure alu top mount with no foams, and then give you guys a sound test with, again, the 3 different switches. So let's go listen to how that sounds. So we did the alu no foam, and this time I wanted to give you guys just to see how it could change the sound with the alu plate specifically, just because alu plate I feel like can really accentuate the sound for a foamless build. So we're gonna add in the gasket pour-on foams and then see with the top mount how does this change the sound. So this time we're going to remove the gasket foam. So we're going to do a foamless PP and then foamed both.
So we finished the whole unboxing build of the Neo98. I would love to know what you guys' thoughts are. So this is the Keybay Signet set. I really do like this set. It's nice from Keybay. Feels incredible. I got it on a really good deal with the Novakeys Black Friday sale, and this thing looks so good and it's so nice. It is big. It's a 98%, so it's gonna be on the larger side, right? Almost a full size, but not fully. A little bit more compact. I really like how they did it. The sound on this thing is so good foamless. Now, this back looks beautiful. I do wish though that there was a copper weight for this. And honestly, Neo, if you do a CU version, which I really hope you guys do a CU version, please let me try it out because I think it's gonna be so good with this board. I really would love to have like a 5 kilogram board. I think this board is getting close to like 2.5 to 3 kilos. I would love to see a 5 kilogram board with this. That would be amazing, especially if they did a CU. Like, sorry there. I would love to see a CU version of this 98. Now, I love the gasket mount sound. This thing is so good foamless. It's probably the best foamless sounding board I have right now. It is really good. I was quite impressed with how they do it. I think over the top mount, I prefer the gasket mount for this one. It's really great. I really do hope that they do have other plates. I would love to try a CF plate with this thing because it would sound amazing. Of course, we're going to have to go a little bit more in depth into this board, see a little bit more of my thoughts, and of course, go in and take a look at more information of this. So let's go right into that.
So overall, I really did appreciate what Neo did with the 98. It's a really nice board and it's quite hefty. So if we weigh it now with the full build, we're looking at a 2.4 kilogram board. Now that's quite heavy. So that's going to be almost it's around the 5 pounds mark. It's almost very heavy, but not that heavy. Like even 65%, I've had boards that are weighing just as much. So it's really not that heavy of a board when you consider that it's a 98% keyboard. And of course, let's try hearing the actual aluminum of this board to see like what kind of quality it is. Overall, not much hollow sounding, not much like crazy pinging. They did a really nice CNC with this one. I do appreciate like the different color balances between the silver and the black, and then the weight on the bottom, which is really nice because it's like a full weight on the whole bottom. I'm really liking how they did it. Like I would have anticipated it to be like maybe half of the bottom of the case and then like something else, but having the whole bottom like that really did look nice, and overall just helps with the aesthetics of the board. I think though, if you're gonna be building this board, foam isn't the greatest way to do this. One of the things I felt was like the foam kind of made the sound a little bit scratchy in certain areas, like specifically the space bar. I think the way that the foams is with the mounting, so you have different mounting systems, right? You have like the gasket pour-on foam mounting way, you have the gasket mount way, and then you have the top mount. And I mixed the top mount with the actual pour-on foam because I felt like that's going to be helpful in terms of reducing a lot of the so-called pinging and the ways that it could the PCB could actually be hitting the case itself. And I think the foam actually helps a lot with it. So if you're going with the top mount build of this, I would highly suggest you use one of the two foams just for the gasket, like to protect the PCB from hitting the case, because I noticed that the spacebar really did have heavy scratch with the stabilizers when you used foam with the board. And if you didn't have the like the actual gasket foams, it wasn't so great. And I think if you did that, it would actually help a lot with it. And even in general with the top mount, if you add those in, it really does help with accentuating like the sound and really helping with less pinging around the case and bringing out more of a sturdy sound. Now in this board though, I personally prefer a gasket mount with this one. The gasket mount sounded really nice. When I used the like MX2 cherries, ooh, that was so good. The sound and like the feel on this board was so amazing. I do love though how they did the screwdriver. I'm gonna be honest, I know that some people might have been looking for more of like the quick release, like the ball catch ones. I personally think that screws really puts the board in a little bit more sturdy, and keeps it in place, and the cases in place a bit more. And I think that's kind of stability I prefer in terms of a board. So I'm not one. I personally don't like a ball bearing mount for boards, because sometimes if done incorrectly, actually could make the case ping a lot when you add in like everything, and that's something that I felt is one thing that I liked about this board. Is just I like the screws. There's a lot though. There's a lot of screws that have to be taken out. As you can see, like it's going to be a total of 10 screws that has to be removed, like to actually open it up. So it is a lot of work to do, but I did appreciate how they did that. And overall, I think in general, with everything that this board was doing with the sound and the engineering behind it, it was really nice. The gasket mount sounded just perfect with a foamless build, and you can go with an RBO like switch set, or you can go with, you know, the full travel 4mm like a MX Cherry. You can even do long pole, and all of them sounded really nice with this board. I honestly wish that they had the CF plate. It would have been nice to see a like carbon fiber plate available for this, because doing a clack build with carbon fiber on this thing, I think would have been amazing. Like I really do hope that maybe they'll look into adding a carbon fiber plate to this like group buy, because I would even want one. Like it'd be nice to have an extra pack set for extra parts, and you can get yourself a carbon fiber plate for this, or maybe even PEI. I will need to try PEI soon with one of my boards just to see what it sounds like. I did think though that the foam sounds did have a little bit of lacklusterness to it, especially if you are someone who really likes to have a very, very thocky build. Even if you add all the foams, it's not going to be the nicest sounding board. You're going to probably have to do a little bit of a tape mod on the back as well to make the sound a little bit better, just because they don't provide you any foam for the back of a PCB. And make sure to add like all the foams that you're going to need. So like make sure to add the foams to the bottom case for the gasket mount portions. Make sure you actually do like a full top mount if you're going to do it, specifically just for a more solid sound with the like thocky build. Add all the foams, and then probably add about 2 layers of tape mod on the back if you're looking to build something very, very thocky. But for those out there that really love that foamless sound, I really think that you should build this like with a gasket mount and then go with the different switches. I personally am going to be changing this up to the cilantro sets, because I think the cilantro switches really sounded nice in this thing, and of course I just have a lot left over in general from when I was reviewing them, so I'm actually planning to change this out to the cilantro instead of the original cheese that I was going to do, because I've been feeling more tactile switches lately instead of the linear switches. So overall though, for the price that they're going to be placing this at, I think this is going to be a steal. Like I think it's a really amazing deal for what you're paying and what you're getting. But let's go into like the actual Notion page and then a little bit of information to see what this board's all about. So this is going to be the Neo98, Neo75 Notion page. I unfortunately was not able to try out the 75, so I can't give you guys more information on that. I can only give you guys the information of the 98, which I've tried. You can also go on their Instagram page. They have videos on both. But as you can see here, they have 2 different boards coming out. This is going to be more on the budget line because it's not a CU or a Core Plus version. This is just your regular, like 98 and 75. And they price it that way. So you get the pour-on gasket mount, which I was saying, I didn't do a pour-on gasket mount sound test build, but I did it with the gasket mount and the top mount. And I think in general, I'm not sure how the sound's going to be like this way, but I think it's a good addition to the top mount if you're doing a top mount, just to reduce some pinging, even though they have the force break mod already available. So as you can see, you can do ANSI or ISO with 6.25U. Unfortunately, no 7U, which I'm disappointed, as I said. Wish they did both. And as you can see here, they have different colors. So you have a total of 7 different colors you can do, and some different weights that you can look at. I think the PVD would be really cool to do, is because it might add extra weight to this board, but I honestly do wish that they had copper, because I know like the Neo80 did. The price wise is going to be at $149 for the 98 and then $139 for the 75. This price is kind of crazy. I think it's like one of the more affordable custom boards out there. It's really nice pricing. You can also check out the vendors list. I think Keybay already has a lot of information available, so I'll link in the description for you guys to go check out on their site, or you can go check out Unikey's, and you know, both of them are really great vendors. Now, in general, it gets 1000 hertz, so it's more than enough for gaming. I even tried it for gaming and it worked well. So if you are looking for a nice sounding like 98% board with a like numpad and everything for gaming, check this one out.
Overall, hope this video helps you guys to see what you think of the Neo98. Love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and hopefully I'll come to you guys with even more boards, which hopefully I do have like a bunch of boards lined up for you guys to really do some builds and see what they're like. Now, of course, check out the links in the description. You guys go check it out there. I'll have Unikey's original website as well as some other vendors that I think you could go check out yourselves. Go check out the other videos I got, and of course, I'll come back to you guys with something cool again. So I'll have to catch you guys next time. And please make sure to like and subscribe.